Today on In the Wood Yard, we're in the woods. We're actually kind of in a swamp. We're gonna cut some trees down. Here we go. So today we are in Adams County, Wisconsin. We're on some property that a buddy of mine owns. He's got 90 some acres. I've been here before and I've done some videos here before. I've cut a lot of trees here before, but I haven't done much here in a couple of years because I've been just busy doing everything else. And about 3 years ago, the county redid the highway out in front. They built it up, but they didn't do the ditches. And so what happened is all the water basically got retained onto his property, so it wasn't draining off. So there's probably a good, I would say 7 or 8 acres here that used to be just kind of low-lying area that would get a little bit of water. Well, 2 years ago it flooded, and all of the maple trees, there's hundreds of them, they all died. They all got drowned. So they've been dead now for about a year, and my fear is that they're going to start to rot because maple, this is soft maple, does not last very long. It's not like oak where you can leave it stand for a long time and it'll be just fine as far as, you know, not rotting on you. It's not like that. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to cut down some of these, and I can see this one here is already getting all pecked on by woodpeckers, but it seems to be solid. So there's a bunch of them, and this is kind of like an average size one. There's you know, sizes all the way from 4 inches up to this size here, you know, 12, 14 inches, maybe a little bigger. So not bad size. The problem, it's the spring of the year right now. It's very swampy out here. Everything's wet. So I got 2 pair of boots along, so I may end up having to switch boots. I might get wet feet today. And I can only get the truck and trailer about that close. I mean, I could back down into here a little bit right in this area, but I'm not going to be able to go out there at all. It's soupy. It's a sandy soil area here, but this is really low here and this is really soupy. I've stepped in here and it's soft, so I won't be able to drive in there. I did bring along a couple 100 feet of rope, so worst case scenario, I could drop a tree and I can pull it out a little bit at a time, making little short runs, because I only have I don't know, 20 yards or so here that I can actually move without going into the next swamp. So I'll be able to hook trees up in sections if I want and pull them out. He does have a small Kubota tractor here. It's a real little one. It's a little weenie tractor, but I would be able to use that also to maybe hook up a rope, pull it out, hook up the rope, pull it out, so I could make like a little landing right here. So that's possible. So that's kind of job one, is to test the maple trees and see if they're good enough to cut, if they're not rotten. Because I got to get going on it. I got a feeling that if I don't get them done, you know, this spring and summer, they're gonna rot, and maybe by next fall they'd still be good. I see a lot of them are cracked. This one back over here, I'm gonna bring the camera over here and show you guys. This one right here, there's some irises growing here. That's kind of nice. Yeah, that's really, see how swampy this is here. These are my new boots. They're gonna get wet today. It's cracked really deep all the way through, as you can see. So some of this stuff, as you know, soft maple, if it stands for about a year, it is dry real fast. I'll walk out here and check this one out. This one here, you can see the bark's all coming off, and it's cracked very deep, like all the way through. Feels solid, but you don't know until you cut it. I think it's going to be good, but there's just hundreds of them, and this is just one side. Over there, there's even more on that end, down over that way. So it's kind of like an open spot. This end, there's a bunch, and then there's a lot more down on that end. Now, there's also a bunch of oaks in here too that are dead. There's one right over here. See, there's brush here from trees that I've cut over the years. There's a dead oak right here. This is a red oak, so that one can come down. There's a red oak over there, I see. And then I'm going to come back over this way and I'll show you some of the red oaks. Now, the red oaks I'm not worried about getting cut up because they'll be good for years. I can get at those whenever, but this one is dead. It's a nice monster there. There's another good one here. That's probably like a, well, I don't know, it's probably close to 20, 22 inches. Big one there. There's a one right there. There's one right there. And then back over there, that's one right back there too. So right here, there's a bunch of, I'll show you how big these are here. So you can see size-wise, they're pretty good sized trees. So these are pretty easy to get at, and I can get at these anytime. But today I kind of want to see if I can cut a load of maple. So I brought the trailer, got 3 saws. I got all day, so I'm gonna see what I can do. See if I can do some damage here. Like I talked with the landowner here, my buddy, he's supposed to be here in about a half hour or so. So I thought I would just kind of cut one of these down and give it a check before he gets here and just show him, you know, what it looks like. Cause I think they gotta be cut up. Cause I noticed like one like over here, this is a bad indicator. This is a soft maple right here. And you can see it's already getting that, it broke off. And so it's already kind of starting to get the dry rot or wet rot, whatever kind of rot it gets that where it's no good real fast. And there are some that are living here. There's a few that made it in here, and those we want to leave, of course. But yeah, this swampy area right here is pretty wet. It's time to do some cutting. Still good, but it needs to be burned now because it's dry. Okay, so I cut a few samples to kind of check out, and it's light, it's dry. So the smaller stuff you can see is cracked really far in, and it's starting to go. I mean, it's gonna burn pretty fast. It is soft maple, so you know it doesn't last long, but you can see when it starts to get this kind of rough cut, when you cut through it, it's not smooth. It's already past probably its prime, but it'll work good for campfire wood. So that's what I use it for. Now the bigger ones, lift this one up here so you can see, the bigger ones are solid. There's a little bit of rot starting on the outside, but it's still got its weight to it. It's still solid. So the big stuff I think will be pretty good, but I cut a bunch of little ones and just dragged them up here. And a lot of these are, you know, the small ones with the bark off. I'll see if I can grab one here and show you the end. Yeah, this one's really nice. This is beautiful here. So let me get this one up here. I just dragged them up here instead of carrying pieces. But you can see this is not, doesn't have the rot if I can get it up all the way. This one's actually darn solid. You can see it's, if you look at the end, it's real solid. It doesn't have that checking and that decay where it starts to look like it's getting rough. It's smooth yet, smooth cut, but yet it's cracked all the way through. So yeah, it's cracked right into the middle. So this is going to be good stuff here. So there's going to be some that are better than others. There's going to be some that are not so good. But I'm going to get this all cut up and we're going to throw it into the trailer. And then I might go to a different spot because I want to be able to get as close as I can because I don't have the tractor or anything here today. I could pull some out, but I'll be able to fill the trailer just with what I got. This is like old school logging without equipment where you got to carry stuff, but it feels good. It's only about 52, 53 degrees, something like that. They said it's breezy, not sunny, it's cloudy. So a beautiful day to be outside working. Birds are singing, mosquitoes are biting. They're just starting to hatch right now. I should have brought some spray, but as long as I keep moving, they're fine. And keep me active so I don't stand still and waste time. And when you're running the saw, they don't bother you at all. So, okay, we're gonna get this cut up and then chuck it in. So look at that. That is about 1/3 of a cord or a face cord. I just got to make another 4 of those. I got a long ways to go, but I don't know if you guys can see it from here, but look at the ends, how cracked all those are, all those slots where it's dry. A lot of that wood is bone dry already. The bigger ones are wet yet. And I'm stacking it because I have to go, I don't know, 85 miles, 90 miles, something like that. And if I'm going to be hauling very light wood, I can pack it in really tight so I don't get hit. It's not gonna have a lot of weight. So if I throw it in loose, I can get about 4, a little more than 4 face cords or full cord and a third. But if I stack it in here and I put a crest on it, I can get 5, almost 2 full cords. So 5 to 6 face cords if I stack it in nice and tight, build it up really good. So going that distance, I might as well haul as much as I can. So it's gonna be a lot of work. I'll spend probably the whole day doing this, and you're gonna see pieces of it as we go now. And I will fill the trailer up by the end of the day. Right now I gotta get some lunch, but by throwing it in loose, like I said, I get 4 face cords or a full cord and a third, which would be about $500 worth of wood, not quite. But if I stack it in here, I can get in probably close to $600 worth of wood because I sell it for $120 for a face cord. So full day's work, and all I gotta do is, I'm probably gonna split a lot of these, even some of the small ones, I'll just knock them in half, and I'll split right out of the trailer into the elevator and then into another trailer, and then we'll just go throw it in the bins. But the bigger stuff, I'll probably have to separate it out. The stuff that's wet, I'll probably put in a different pile, and that'll go into a bin to be dried, but the other stuff will be ready to be sold right away, so I'll be able to throw that in a different pile. So, nice. Here's the next victim. It is another maple tree that we're going to take down, and I'm just going to show you kind of where I was. I was down on that corner before cutting, but it's really wet down there. My feet are wet, and up in this end it's not too bad. The ground is soft, but it's not like soupy. And there's all of these maple trees. You can see there's, I don't know, 100 of them right here. And over in that corner there's probably 100. So probably a couple hundred total is my guess. I don't know, I didn't count them. There's a bunch. Some of them are still alive. Some of these, like this little one right here, this is still alive. Little guy right here is alive, but if you look up at the tops, you can see there's no leaves on them. This one right over here is alive yet. But there's a bunch of them in there that are dead. There's a few oaks in there too, but mainly I want to get the maples cut out of here while I can, while they're still good. So a lot of the bark's coming off, as you can see. But I'll go over by this one so you can just get an idea of the size here. I got the saw by it. The size of most of them are like these here. Really nice size for firewood. I don't know, what is that, 10 inches, 12 inches, something like that. And so we're gonna cut this bad boy down, check it out. It looks like it's pretty good. I can see on the inside where the cracks are, it looks pretty solid yet. So we'll find out real quick. Well, that was a workout. I'm like a human skidder. It would be nice. I could probably, you can see the truck right over there on the side. I think you can see it. The road is right here. But as soon as you get right where the end of the logs are, it gets soft. And then as soon as you get out there about 10 yards, you got ankle deep water. So my feet are soaking wet and my back is soaking wet. My thong is wet. Sun came out, it got hot, I'm sweating. But that's a good workout. You know, a lot of people talk about their workouts and going to the gym. I'd like them to come work with me for a day. Going to the gym is easy compared to this because you're not just fighting the weight, you're fighting brush, water, bugs, wind, sun. It's just constant. But I'd rather be doing this any day than going in the gym where there are a bunch of other sweaty, stinky people out here. I'm alone, fresh air. Feels good to be alive. So now I'm gonna cut this up and we're gonna throw it in. I'll be able to back the trailer right up to the end of the logs here. You can see because the trailer's right there. I'll just kind of stick it right in here. I can't go much farther than about right here because it gets really soft really fast right there. And I was just thinking what I'm gonna do next time when I come back is I thought today, well, first of all, I should say, today I thought I'd be able to use the tractor that's here. There's a little Kubota tractor, but they're putting food plots in today. And so they're using it all day long, so I couldn't really use the tractor. And I think when I come back, I'll be able to use my truck. I'll just disconnect the trailer, put it off to the side. I'll cut down a bunch of trees in here, get them all limbed up. And I got a couple big pulleys. I got one really big one. It's I think it's like a 2,500 pound or 3,500 pound pulley. I can hook it up to a tree over here, run the line over to those trees, pull them right up to here, because I can just go right down the road. I can just go around the pulley and out that way. So basically just a V. And I think I can just pull all these right up here. None of the trees are very big. I mean, the biggest one is like this. So you might have, I don't know, 300-400 pounds. I can pull that no problem. So yeah, I got lots of little ones in there, stuff that's like this size, like a lot of these. There's a lot of 4, 6, 8 inchers, a lot of them. And a lot of it is really dry. So most of it looks really good too. I didn't see too much rotten stuff at all. So we're getting it in time. So that's a good thing. I'm gonna get cutting right now. I'm not even halfway done. I still got 4 rows to go. 4.5 actually. I got that partial row and then I got to arch it a little bit more. So, wow. It's getting hot fast. The sun came out. It warmed up like 15 degrees instantly. Whoo! So I'm going to go over to a spot down the road a little farther that way because I can access some of the maple trees over in that corner, I think, maybe a little bit better, and see if I can back into a spot where I can drop some down closer to the road because I don't want to have to be a skidder anymore. I think I'm going to wait until I get the ones farther in there once I get a pulley and some rope. But I'm going to keep going until I drop or it gets dark or something. I don't know. So that's where the tree was. Cut it down, dropped it right through this opening here. I hit one little tree and broke that one off too. Cut that up. I got it all blocked up, and then I just made a lane right here for the trailer. So I cut down just a little bit of brush. There's one little opening right here, so I only cut down 3 or 4 little bitty trees. So I backed it up, so it's as close as I can get because it starts getting swampy right here. This is all really soft, so I'm gonna kind of stay up on that hill. Unfortunately, I have to do some carrying. I thought I was going to be able to pull it out, but there's no really good way to do it today. If I had a pulley, I think I could make it work. But if you see these trees back behind me here, I got those marked. I got ribbons on those trees because I can tell which ones have leaves and which ones don't. And just in case I don't get to it right away, I'll know which ones they are. But there's, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. There's like 22 trees right here that if all I did was I had the truck right here and I had a pulley on a tree across there, I could just drive because the road goes that way. I can, right now the road runs parallel with the swamp here. I could put a pulley out over there and just drive down the road and just pull all these right up here. So I cut, this is one of the biggest ones, but then this one over here is a really big one too. That's like about a 20, I don't know, it's gotta be a 20 incher. It's a solid one. It just must have got knocked over recently is my guess. Well, this winter anyway, but yeah, it's a pretty good sized one. So there's a lot of wood right there, but a lot of these trees right in here. I wish they were on this side. They'd be closer, but they're on that side because this is kind of the finger of the swamp, and then it runs all the way through back way down to that far corner down that way where I was cutting earlier today. Anyway, time to carry some wood, chuck some wood, load some wood, fill the trailer. A tree was once there, and it laid right here. I got everything picked up except for there's a couple little rounds in there that had some branches attached that I'm not going to start this up. There's like 3 or 4 of them. So, and I got the trailer all loaded, and I could probably fit a little bit more, but I'm not going to cut anymore. So it's pretty full enough. So that was, I got here, I think around just before 12 o'clock today. And right now it's about 6:15, and I did take off at least almost 45 minutes actually. We went and had a bite to eat and did some commiserating with the landowner, my buddy here. So probably worked at the most 5 hours. And with what's in the trailer there, it's for sure over $500 worth of wood, maybe 6 because I got stacked. I don't know exactly, but it's a bunch of wood. And so some of it will need to be split. Some of it is fine as it is. I'd say half of it, I don't need to do a darn thing to it. I'm just going to leave it as it is. And then there's some bigger chunks that are a little bit wet, a little bit bigger to handle, so I'll knock those in half probably. And some of the bigger ones I'll knock down. So I'll probably do that tomorrow or the next day. You're going to come back 5:30 a.m. You'll see more action tomorrow. I'll be here. Right now you're going to go watch another video of mine because that's the best thing you can do to help me. Thank you kindly. Irene says good night.